If you simplify the whole thing, we have the Facebook, Instagram ads, we have the survey page, pre-vetting the people, getting more information. We have a booking page that they can book in the CMA consultation call. If they book, cool, we continue the whole process here. If they didn't, all goody. We have an AI, Ashley, conversing with SMS and getting them booked into the appointments. And if they aren't getting booked, there is short-term and long-term email and SMS campaigns. And then we have the phone consults, and then we go from there to in-person appointments, listing presentation, listing signed, and selling the home and making money. And that's pretty much it. The key takeaways from here to take is follow up and build a relationship and provide value. Yo, what's up guys? On this training today, we're gonna dive into how we're helping our clients acquire listings online, and also if there's someone watching who's not our client yet, how you can basically do this without anyone's help, just by understanding these numbers and also really just having someone to build out the systems for you. But basically on the training, we're gonna dive into the ROI projections. So basically the math behind the online listing acquisition. And then I'm also going to walk you through the listing acquisition process that we are running through, or we have built out for our clients, and that they are utilizing to get these listings online. So that being said, let's dive in. So first off, the goal when it comes to a listing acquisition online is to be able to spend $1 on ads and get back 6 to 15 like clockwork. It's not going to be a fast process to get to those numbers. It's not going to be easy to get to those numbers, but it's pretty simple. It just takes time and being able to really nail down the whole process, and also being open-minded to kind of unlearning some things that you may have learned in the past and learning new things in order to get to those conversion rates that we have to be able to get to in order to hit those numbers. But I want to emphasize it's not a quick process. It takes time to get the 6 to 15x ROAS, meaning getting $6 to $15 back when you spend $1 into your ads. But that being said, that is possible. And that is something that we want to be able to hit when we're running ads in real estate market. To the other goal per se here, the other goal here is to really being able to understand your numbers. So to know your numbers, and then also understanding how to read them in order for you to find and identify the gaps in the process and identify the constraints in your business and in your acquisition process right now, so that you can really focus on that. You can fix it, and that way get to the next level, get to closer to those ROAS numbers. And what is a good ROAS? Anywhere between 6 to 15x, like comes from here the same way. Just basically means you put $1 in and you get 6 to 15 back. So that is 6 to 15x ROAS on GCI, and that's really, really good. Obviously, depending on your margins per deal, and meaning like your expense structures and all that stuff when it comes to actually being able to, doing that actual deal, doing that transaction, your margins, like it dependent on your margins, where you can actually, what you need to have your ROAS in order to actually being able to scale the spending. But also depending on your margins again and your goals, where you're looking to go to and what you're looking to hit, it is possible to scale even with like 2.5, 3 and 4x ROAS as well. In this case, if you're having a lower ROAS, I would really focus on honing in your conversion skills. So basically just like how to actually talk to leads, how to approach the leads, how to handle smoke screens and objections and convert them into in-person appointments, etc., before scaling the ad spend, so that you can just squeeze more juice out of the opportunities. Just remember, it is a business, so do not include like personal expenses to the margins when doing these calculations. What you really want to figure out is my advertising profitable? And if so, how profitable is it? And does it have enough margins so that I can scale it? If you really want to build a business, like most of you guys probably want to, and a business that is actually making you money, more money than you can imagine, you must know your numbers and the differences between different acquisition channels. And also when it comes to differences, you gotta understand the different ways to scale those acquisition channels, and if it's even possible to scale those acquisition channels. And then the difference between cash and revenue ROAS, again, it's kind of like, it depends on like how everything is structured on your end, but basically to really simplify, cash ROAS would be calculated based on like cash collected, time frame being measured. So in most cases, you could basically frame this also being like the net ROAS, a bit dependent on your structures and commissions and all that. But the idea here is that it is different than GZI/revenue ROAS, and GZI ROAS would be calculated based on the GZI generated in that time frame. So that wouldn't include like splits and etc. all that stuff into that, right? I mean, those would be in it, so that it is higher. So the gross commission income from that deal that you got from the advertising, that would be like calculated into the GZI ROAS. Knowing the different numbers and figures can give you a lot of more clarity on your profitability, so that you can actually scale with confidence. Understanding how much you're making gross from those deals and how much is the profit from those deals, and understanding how much you can actually spend in order to acquire more clients, and also understanding the lifetime value of the clients, the lifetime gross commissions and the lifetime gross profits and the lifetime net profits from those clients that you're acquiring, because that will then help you to understand how much you can actually spend in order to acquire more clients, and in the back end then getting those back in cash, back in commissions from repeat clients, referrals. Maybe they do buy and sell, maybe you can do double-ended deals, etc. Understanding the total value of a client gives you more clarity around how much you can actually spend in order to acquire clients and still be profitable and really scale. Hopefully that makes sense. Important KPIs/benchmarks. So these are from our current process, what we're looking at when we're looking at the scalability and the profitability of a campaign, and what we need to do, what we need to focus on in order to actually being able to scale the campaigns for the client. So obviously, if we break this down, and you will understand soon when we're going into the simplifying the listing acquisition system, but if we break this down, it's basically lead to in-person appointment conversion, and that includes lead to conversation. So for example, the AI system schedules like book phone appointments, and then those conversations of it would include conversations with those phone appointments, and then also conversations with the leads that you calling to get them on the phone and having those conversations. The lead to conversation, so from opt-in to actually being able to have a conversation, we're looking at 25 to 30%. From conversation to in-person appointment, we're looking at 40 to 60%. Here, the difference really comes from, is basically, like what I would recommend is that you go and get the in-person appointment with most of the people, and just so you can build a relationship. Because if I remember correctly, the statistics say that 70% of the homeowners will list with the first person they meet with, for the first agent they meet with. So if you are the person that meets with them the first, like you're the first person, agent they meet with, you really start building a relationship, you provide value, genuine value to these people, no matter if it's going to sell now, in the future, like whenever. If you really build a relationship and nurture that relationship during the way, they will list with you, and they will also have other real estate transactions that they will want to do with you. That's why we're really going towards the 60%, which will then also in the long run give you the snowball effect that will make you loads more money in 12 to 18 month period or time frame. Then appointment to listing conversion. So this would be from person appointment to listing conversion, 20 to 25%. We have divided this into two different steps. We have in-person appointment to listing presentation. You will understand soon a bit more. Basically, our process, how it goes, is like going into in-person, doing like CMA, home valuation appointments, that we turn into listing presentation, and that listing presentation turns into closing for the listing. So converting into the listing. So we want to divide that into two, just so we can provide more value to these leads, these people, and that way, when you're providing value, they will give that back to you and you will make more money. Obviously, it will take more effort in order to make this happen, but again, building a business that will make you loads money, more money than you can ever imagine, is not easy, and it will require effort. So if you really want to do that and you want to like actually make impact to the people that you're helping and working with and around you, you will need to put some effort in order to make that happen. It's not easy, but it's simple. If it would be easy, everyone would be doing it, most likely. That's why we divide into two. So in-person to listing presentation, we just give that a 50%. Again, it really varies in terms of like, if you're going to like meet with every single one you speak with over the phone, like it will obviously be a bit lower on those first meetings. But like these, again, keep in mind, these are 12-month stats. So over 12-month period, we're looking to go down to that route. That just gives us a bit more leeway in terms of like finding the constraints in the process. Then listing presentation to listing sign, 40 to 50%. And yeah, 40 to 50% is really what we're looking at. That will come down to 20, 25%, depending where we're at with those two different steps. And then if you go from lead to listing, so from the very first opt-in to listing across 12-month period and going through this process, you should be looking at like 3 to 6% conversion rate from opt-in to listing over time. And the average hovers around 3 to 4% right now when it comes to opt-in to listing. So it basically includes all of these steps. If you want to reach the 6 to 8%, I mean, it is possible. You just need to expand your time horizon. You really need to approach every single one on the basis of providing value and then building a relationship. And like building a relationship, that's like probably one of the biggest levers you can pull when it comes to this. And again, as I mentioned earlier, increasing the time horizon, and that is possible then. If you look at like the cost per leads and all that stuff, low competition 8 to 16, high competition 16 to 35 when it comes to seller leads from this process. We really do want to say across all accounts, like we always say 25 to 35 dollar cost per lead, because that will give us again leeway in terms of like optimizing for the quality and intent of the leads. And target CPA, meaning cost per acquisition, cost per one listing acquired, $600 to $1,200. Here's a few examples. Let's say you spend let's say your CPL is $30 and you spend $1,200 into ads per month, you get 40 leads. So 1,200 divided 30 is 40. The lead to listing conversion, let's say it's 4%. That would mean your cost per acquisition is around $750. If everything else stays the same and your lead to listing conversion is 3.75%, that would mean your CPA is around $800. And if again everything stays the same but your lead to listing conversion drops to 2.5%, that would mean your CPA is around $1,200. And it's still pretty good. Again, note here, the higher the home values, the higher the CPA tends to increase, but it doesn't matter that much when your ROAS is great. Because let's say your average CPA is 3,000, but you make 20K GCI per deal. That would mean your CPA is more than 2 times that high range on the target CPA, but your GCI ROAS is 6.67x, aka still within the KPI range. And you profit more, absolutely more, than agents in lower price markets, meaning you can allocate more dollars back to advertising, allowing you to scale faster and bigger, which is a huge lever you can pull if you're in a higher price market. It will take more money to acquire listings if you're in a higher price, high competition market, but again, you will profit more per deal, and your cash ROAS, GCI ROAS as well, both actually are higher than in lower price markets. So you can again allocate more money into advertising to acquire clients because your ROAS is higher from that deal, and also most likely your LTV, lifetime value of a customer, is also higher, which again tells you to pull more money into advertising and allowing you to scale faster and bigger, which is huge thing for you to leverage. And when it comes to those high price, high competition markets, then it normally tends to take longer time because most of the agents we work with keywords ain't willing to spend more money at the beginning to shorten that time horizon. Because if you're thinking of everyone spending the same, let's say everyone's spending 1K per month or 1,500 per month into ads, and if your cost per listing acquired over 12 months is 1K versus your cost per acquisition is 3K, basically, hypothetically, theoretically, you're on the other hand, it takes you 1 month to get a listing, and on the other hand, when it comes to 3K CPA, it takes you 3 months to get a listing, right? Obviously, it's not that straightforward, but those are like from 12-month periods and then just condensed into 1 month as an example purpose for an example purposes. So that's just to say that it may take more time to get listings in a higher price, high competition market. But again, once you get that deal, you profit more. You absolutely profit more. So you have more cash in your hands to put back into the advertising. And yes, you have expenses as well, and maybe more expensive for you to live there and all that stuff. But again, that's why I said at the beginning to think this as a business and not as a personal expense and stuff like that. So you really want to figure out here and identify how is your advertising scalable, profitable, and if not, why, and if it is, why, and then focusing on those and just literally starting to scale it up. And that way you can literally make more money and you can start hiring people and you can actually start building a business, and that will give you the free keys to the freedom that you really wanted when you started in real estate. Most people, it may not be you, but most people start in real estate because they want to make more money and have the freedom and all that cool lifestyle. So if you really want that, it requires effort. It is possible, but here's one example how to make it happen. But you really need to start thinking this from, this is a business, and how can I actually think this from that point of view and see how can I scale this advertising up, this acquisition channel up, and that way building a team, etc., to really have more time and freedom. Cool. That being said, here's a quick example here. So let's say you want to add 2 listings per month, and let's say your average listing value is 800,000. Let's say your commission is 2.5%. That would mean your average listing commission is 20K. And that basically means if you want to do 2 per month times 12, 24 in a year time, in 12 months, 24 times 20,000 is 480,000 target gross commission increase. And in-person appointment to listing conversion rate 20%. That would mean you need 10 in-person appointments per month to get 2 listings. And let's be super conservative here, and that within that 30-day period, 1 month period, you get people who need to reschedule, they delay, they cancel, etc. Basically, they don't show up to the appointments. So let's be super conservative here, and let's say 70% of the in-person appointments that you schedule are showing up. So 30% ain't showing up. So 70% show up rate would mean that it's in order to actually conduct 10 in-person appointments, you need 14 booked in-person appointments per month, and 15% lead to appointment booked conversion, which all these numbers you can find from here, by the way. And that would mean you would need 93 leads per month. Therefore, we need, as I said, 93 leads per month to hit our target. And if we say that the target CPL is $25, that would mean 25 times 93 is $2,325, meaning you gotta spend $2,325 per month, or in other words, $77.8 per day into the actual advertising. So that would come to annual spending $27,900, and in order to get to the 24 listings in 12-month period. And then that means annual GCI after 70-30 split would be 336,000 in 12 months. And basically that means your ROAS after splits is 12.04, which is extremely good. So even though this number here may feel like you spend a lot, but if you're gonna get that 12 times back, you're gonna increase your GCI 480,000 in 12 months. That's crazy. And then if you have 70-30 splits, you're basically making 336,000 though. So that's just to say that it may feel like you're spending a lot up front, but if you're actually nailing down this process, it is actually possible to get a crazy returns back. And if you include into that the repeat clients, referrals, all that good stuff, your brand equity that will increase, that will be a huge return in a longer time horizon. You can't even imagine that. So this is again an example calculation, and it is super conservative when it comes to the ad spend as well here. So for example, like Catherine, I think had like 15 listings in 12 months and she spent like $700 per month, which is pretty cool. So like all this differs. So basically what I would say is like use these numbers here to calculate your stuff, and then find ways you're constrained in the process when it comes to acquiring listings, and really just nail down and focus on that in order to really being able to get more back and to scale your campaigns up and scale your acquisition channel up. Yeah, that being said, let's dive into the actual listing acquisition system here. So pretty much here it's what it looks like. So we have in here, up here, let me see if I can get some cool thing here with drawings. Cool. So we have this meta ads here, up here. So we're running Facebook, Instagram ads. We're driving the traffic then to a survey page where we pre-vet and find the highest intent when it comes to the advertisings that we're running. So a huge, big thing here to understand is that when it comes to running ads, your goal is not to get here a person who is ready to sell. Your goal here is to get a person who will go into the next step and also submitting the survey and becoming a lead, right? So here you don't want to just focus on people who are looking to sell, because that's not the case. Most people won't even tell you at this point that yes, I'm looking to sell. So what we want as humans, we love relationship people at the end of the day. I don't know if that's even a way to say that. Basically, what I'm just trying to say is that your whole thing is to find people who have intent, and that way start building a relationship, nurturing the relationship, that way eventually selling their home. So this is, as you can see, this is just one step of this whole thing here, right? It's just one step. So it's the first step to get people in to the system, right? Most, like the best ads that we're running right now, the ones that are actually converting into phone consults, in-person appointments, listing presentations and listings, street by street evaluations, neighborhood evaluations, and stuff like that. So some kind of things related to home evaluation, but just from different standpoints when it comes to the actual ad. And those are literally the best converting ads when it comes to the whole process, right? So after the survey page, after they become a lead, there is a booking page that they can book a free CMA consultation call. Most people won't book from the booking page, but what happens then is if they book, cool, there's a phone consultation. If they didn't, there is an AI, Ashley, conversing them via SMS. So it will ask a couple more questions. The first goal with that is to really just to get the leads engaged, right? And then that way, once we get them engaged, we ask them a couple of questions more about the thing that they acquired about, and then that way getting them into a phone consult after that. So the CTA for the AI, and it's an actual AI. It's not some conditional workflow only. It's an actual AI that having conversations with the leads, and that way then booking them into their agent's calendar. If it booked, cool, we are going to have a phone consult. If it didn't, all goody, it will go into short-term and long-term email and SMS campaigns. And also here, a huge thing that we recommend all our clients to do. And if you are a client watching this, then again, here is like, call them. Yeah, just dial. Just dial, have SMS, all that stuff, follow up, all the good thing. Just make it happen. Not everyone will book with the AI, but we have seen clients get listings from people that the AI didn't book, and they didn't book from the booking page, and the agent called the lead, so they listed the property. So even though they wouldn't book through AI the booking page, they still may be intent. So call everyone, and that way increase your odds to make money and to get more listings, and also to being able to help more people. Right? But cool, if they book a phone consult, or once they book a phone consult, what happens next is they either show up or they don't. So they either pick up the phone or they don't pick up the phone. Both things can happen. If they don't pick up the phone, all goody. We recommend double dialing, right? And then after that, if they don't, there's a no-show sequence that the client, the agent turns into like they no-showed. It will text them, proven text message sequence, and then email campaign trying to rebook the people back in the phone console. No issues happen, and that's normal. This just belongs to the game. That's part of the game, and that's why we have a process in order to get them back, right? In order to get them back. Also, if you're the agent calling the leads and all that stuff, like I would definitely, on top of like the automations and stuff like that, I would definitely follow up the person. You're paying for the lead, so why not, right? So definitely follow up. If we booked, if you have the phone consults and like they showed and we book an in-person appointment, cool, we continue. If we don't, then again, there's long-term email and SMS campaigns you can activate from the system. If you book the in-person, awesome. We normally, most agents goes to first into like in-person CMA/walkthrough session, and then from there turns that into listing presentation, right? As I showed for you from the numbers. And then if we get the listing signed, awesome, great stuff. We can go and sell the home and make some money and help people. If we didn't, all goody. We hopefully have provided a bit of value here during the listing present and all that stuff. And now we have the advantage when it comes to getting this listing and helping this person and getting them as a client later on. And obviously, again, there's long-term email and SMS campaigns on these. And also here, like, depending on the situation, you know the best, but do not give up. Follow up. We have had our clients who literally met with 4 people. I mean, more than 4, but I remember these 4 people because of this thing. She met with 4 people. She didn't follow up, and she didn't even activate the automation. She did nothing after she met with those people. 4 people. She didn't get those listings like at that meeting, right? But she didn't follow up. And that's why she didn't get the listings, because month goes by, month and a half, something like that. And those listings are on the market and someone else listed the property. So follow up. That's the key here. During the whole freaking process, from the opt-in to the whole like meeting with the clients, even like after signing the listing and even after selling the listing, follow up and continue building their relationship so that you can get more business from them and you can get more business like that they will want to sell, they will want to buy, or they have friends and family, and hopefully you did a good job and they want to refer you more people. And also, you know, I think that's just like pretty cool, right? So relationship is the main thing, and follow up here when it comes to the whole process. Pretty much, if you simplify the whole thing, we have the Facebook, Instagram ads, we have the survey page, pre-vetting the people, getting more information. We have a booking page that they can book in the CMA consultation call. If they book, cool, we continue the whole process here. If they didn't, all goody. We have an AI, Ashley, conversing with SMS and getting them booked into the appointments. And if they aren't getting booked, there is short-term and long-term email and SMS campaigns. And then we have the phone consults, and then we go from there to in-person appointments, listing presentation, listing signed, and selling the home and making money. And that's pretty much it. The key takeaways from here to take is follow up and build a relationship and provide value, right? Provide value, follow up, build a relationship. And if you see these notes here, basically, one thing to realize is that once we added this phone consultation step into the process, average results skyrocketed. I think it was like 2.5x difference in terms of the average listings, average results from our clients, which is pretty darn cool. And once the agent learns this process, once you learn this process and cash flow is coming in, the next step, as I mentioned earlier, is to start hiring team members, is to start hiring assistants, ISAs inside a sales agent, so that the agent, you, can focus more on the in-person appointments and actually building more value and providing more value and building those relationships and selling the homes. So once you really nail down this process and you know what are the steps you need to take in order to make money out of the system and what are your numbers so that you can build your own KPIs based on your process, and that way you can get anyone to follow those steps, those exact steps to get to the same KPIs so that you can get to the same end result. But you gotta first know those in your actual process. And that's what I recommend. That's how I build this business. That's how the most successful clients we have built their businesses. So that's what I do recommend. It's much easier than to hire and outsource someone to do that job. So, but again, if you take the calls, you are the one who calls the consults, takes the consults, the conversion is always going to be higher because the agent, meaning you, are the business owner and you know your market the best and your service the best. That's why I don't recommend ISA before system is profitable and you can confidently say that you yourself have the process nailed down. Before you can do that, I don't recommend outsourcing that to a team member unless you have a lot of money and are willing to get someone else in to learn the process and burn a bit of your money by doing that, because it is a learning curve and you as the agent, as the business owner, will learn the process faster because at the end of the day it's your money and your money that you're spending, and it's also your money that you're getting out of there, right? And it's your reputation. So you will be the one who wants to learn it the best and the fastest. But again, it is possible to get an ISA, for example, in from the beginning to start learning the process, but it may take a bit more time and also it may burn a bit of cash in the beginning when you're doing that, but it's possible. It just depends on your situation. So that's why I really normally recommend that starting yourself and rolling down the process, documenting it, having KPIs and benchmarks from your own process after going through this. And that way it's much easier to train an ISA, for example, a team member, whatever, is this process and really getting it to work at the level you want it to work. But that's pretty much it. We have covered today the ROI projections and really what are the numbers you should be hitting, and kind of like trying to get you understand those a bit more as well. Then also we walked you through the Meskula listing acquisition system, Simplified, which is here. Different steps that goes into there. So we have the meta ads, we have the survey page, we have the booking page, we have the AI actually booking appointments. Then we get them into phone consults, we get them into in-person appointment that we turn into a listing presentation that we turn into listing. Then you go and sell the home and you make money. So that's it, simplified, without going too deep into the weeds about the exacts on how and where and what to do and the skills that you need and like the frameworks and the scripts and the strategies and the process. That's just the gist of it, right? So that's what we ran through today. That's pretty much it. If you have any questions, wherever you're watching this, there's probably a comment section, or if you're a client watching this, you can ask us, CSMs, whatever. Yeah, let's go set some more appointments. Let's go help more people. Let's go sell more homes. Let's get it. Get after it.